I'm Zahir Kelvin Abdullah and this is Nightline. The top stories: PM orders acceleration of infrastructure projects for 2-year 5-season paddy planting. And government provides additional 10 billion ringgit to enhance housing credit guarantee scheme. Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim has urged federal agencies and the Kedah state government to work together to accelerate the implementation of the 2-year 5-season paddy cultivation program in the Muda region, Malaysia's largest rice-producing area. The Prime Minister emphasised that the Agriculture and Food Security Ministry is prioritising the 1 billion ringgit initiative, which aims to increase paddy farmers' incomes and strengthen national food security. Anwar said the land acquisition process must be expedited to upgrade the irrigation system infrastructure. He also stressed the need for regular progress reports to be submitted to the ministry.
Semua agensi anggap ini sebagai projek utama, laporan tiap bulan ikut jadual. Kalau boleh percepatkan. Kita tak boleh tolak ansur. Kita orang lemah dengar. Umum dah, tak jalan lagi. Kemudian bila jalan pula ikut macam sambil lewat. Ini masalah penanam padi, pesawah ni, masalah hidup dia, masalah cari makan dia. Melambatkan maknanya beban kepada orang.
Anwar said this during the launch of the Phase 1 infrastructure project to support the 2-year 5-season paddy planting program in Jerlun, Kedah on Thursday. The project includes the comprehensive rehabilitation of the Perdu Dam and the construction of 15 blocks of tertiary irrigation systems for paddy fields in the Muda region. It covers nearly 11,000 hectares of paddy and will benefit 6,172 farmers. Anwar also announced that half of the 30 million ringgit cash aid from Padi Beras Nasional Berhad, Bernas, will be dispersed to paddy farmers nationwide soon. In a separate event in Al-Ustar, Anwar stated that the Muslim world must boost and develop academic excellence as a catalyst for societal change. Speaking at a meet and greet session with students of Al-Bukhari International University, Anwar pointed out that the Muslim world is still falling behind due to a lack of emphasis on education, technology and economic strength.
You see the world now, particularly in the Muslim world, or general politics, what is lacking is a trust deficit. You don't believe anymore. People talk about struggle, about sacrifice, about contribution. Then you realize they have amassed wealth beyond their means. They don't set a good example. Yes, knowledge, yes, some level of competence, but no values.
The Prime Minister also noted that the main challenge is ensuring that the younger generation of Muslims receives a better education than previous generations to drive change in society, the nation and the world. The government has announced an additional 10 billion ringgit to enhance the Housing Credit Guarantee Scheme, HCGS, under Syarikat Jaminan Kredit Perumahan Berhad, SJKP, in response to the rapid growth of the informal sector and gig economy. The initiative is expected to help over 20,000 individuals without fixed incomes purchase their first home. Second Finance Minister Dato' Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan said last year HCGS benefited over 36,000 applicants. This involved a total approved financing of 9.7 billion ringgit.
Kita akan menyaksikan bagaimana pekerja sambilan, anak seni, usahawan mikro, peniaga pasar borong, malah guru sekolah agama yang sebelum ini merasakan tidak mampu memiliki rumah sendiri, berjaya mencapai impian memberikan keselesaan kepada keluarga mereka.
Since its inception in December 2007, SJKP has approved guarantees for over 76,000 applications involving total financing of more than 17.8 billion ringgit. Meanwhile, 20 billion ringgit has also been allocated to Syarikat Jaminan Pembiayaan Perniagaan Berhad (SJPP) under the 2025 budget to support financing for local small and medium enterprises (SMEs). For the record, SJPP has successfully guaranteed financing for over 75,000 SME entrepreneurs, with total financing exceeding 102 billion ringgit since its establishment in 2009 until December last year. The Education Ministry will work together with the Housing and Local Government and Health Ministries to monitor the sale of snacks outside school compounds. Education Director General Ahmad emphasized that currently school supervision is limited to a radius of 40 meters from the main gate. According to Azman, cooperation between the ministries is necessary, especially in terms of enforcement through the local authorities.
Kita pun sudah maklum, KPKT dan juga KKM juga telah mengeluarkan garis panduan berkaitan dengan penjualan ini. Jadi penguatkuasaannya memang kepada kementerian yang berkenaan lah. Bagaimanapun, atas kesedaran untuk memastikan anak-anak murid kita ini hanya membeli makanan yang ada di kantin sekolah supaya mereka boleh membeli makanan yang dibenarkan saja.
Azman said this to reporters after officiating an event at a school in Batupat, Johor on Thursday. Guidelines banning the sale of food and beverages outside school compounds have been issued by local authorities and have been in effect since 2012. A circular has also been distributed to the relevant parties to ensure compliance with these guidelines. Last week, 10-year-old Muhammad Fahmi Hafiz Muhammad Fakhruddin died after choking on a gummy candy purchased outside his school compound. The primary 4 pupil passed away while receiving treatment at the Pediatric Intensive Care Unit of Pulau Pinang Hospital. The implementation of the proposed congestion charges is expected to reduce traffic congestion in Kuala Lumpur by up to 20%. However, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Federal Territories, Dr. Zaliha Mustafa, emphasized that various factors must first be considered to ensure the initiative's effectiveness. According to Dr. Zaliha, if congestion charges are introduced, the rate must be set at the level that discourages private vehicle use. However, the government does not want the charges to place an excessive burden on the public.
Kadar charge kesalahan ini tidaklah juga boleh terlalu rendah dan hendaklah ditetapkan pada satu nilai yang akan menyurutkan atau dengan izin discourage pengguna daripada melalui jalan-jalan yang tertentu.
A 2020 study by Prasarana Malaysia Berhad estimated that traffic congestion results in 20 billion ringgit in economic losses for the country. At present, the feasibility of setting congestion charges is still being studied by the Malaysian Institute of Road Safety Research, MIROS, and the Malaysia Green Technology and Climate Change Corporation, MGTC. 8 individuals will be summoned by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) to have their statements recorded as part of an investigation into 4 former senior officers of the 9th Prime Minister. MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki said all additional witnesses will be called within the next 2 weeks. Azman stated that the investigation is also being conducted under the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act.
Memang dalam tempoh minggu dan minggu depan kita dijangka akan memanggil 8 orang saksi tambahan bagi tujuan untuk membantu siasatan dalam kes ini lah. Mereka akan dipanggil ke Ibu Jabat untuk membantu siasatan kita untuk dilakukan percakapan dan juga dia akan ditunjukkan dokumen-dokumen yang berpatutan.
He added that the Graft Busters Anti-Money Laundering Division is currently reviewing documents seized in the case. Last Saturday, the MACC arrested the 4 former officers, with 3 of them remanded for 5 days, while the other was remanded for 3 days. In the meantime, the MACC has detained 5 civil servants for allegedly soliciting and receiving bribes in exchange for not taking enforcement action against factories illegally processing e-waste. Their arrests came after 18 people were nabbed on Tuesday on suspicion of bribing civil servants to secure approval for foreigners to become shareholders in e-waste factories in Selangor and Johor. According to sources, the men, aged in their 20s to 40s, were arrested between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Wednesday at the Melaka MACC office after giving their statements. Initial investigations found that some of the civil servants received one-off bribes ranging from 1,000 to 20,000 ringgit for not taking action against the e-waste factories. MACC Investigation Division Senior Director Zainul Darus confirmed the arrest. All of the suspects were handed a 6-day remand until March 4th to assist in the probe. The case is being investigated under the MACC Act. Police have recorded statements from the parents of Hud Aryan Muhammad Noor Hafifi on Thursday to assist investigations into the toddler's death. Kelantan Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Yusuf Mamat stated that this was to confirm that there was no element of negligence in the death of the 19-month-old boy whose body was discovered on Wednesday.
Jadi dalam kes Hud ni, postmortem kita tak dapat apa-apa kesan kecederaan ataupun kesan jenayah lain. Cuma saya telah arahkan OSPD Tanah Merah untuk buat siasatan lanjut. Sebab saya tengok dalam TikTok netizen yang orang berdekatan, dia katakan cara hilang tu tak logik.
Yusuf added that the police have not opened any investigation papers so far and have classified the case as sudden death. Hud Aryan was reported missing last Monday in Kampung Aira, Kuala Tiga, Tanah Merah. His body was later found by search and rescue personnel 2 days later, 3 kilometers from where he was reported missing. His remains were laid to rest at the Kampung Aira, Kuala Tiga Muslim Cemetery at 2 a.m. on Thursday. Police seized 200 kilograms of shabu, valued at an estimated 6.4 million ringgit from a sport utility vehicle SUV in Tumpat, Kelantan last Sunday. The seizure followed a 15-kilometer car chase after police officers spotted 2 men behaving suspiciously inside the vehicle in Kampung Nibong. Kelantan Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Yusuf Mamat said when instructed to stop, the driver of the SUV crashed through a roadblock and sped off, prompting police to pursue the vehicle. The vehicle eventually came to a stop by the roadside at Kampung Becah Resak in Cabang 4 after its rear tyre burst. The 2 suspects then abandoned the SUV and fled into a nearby village. An inspection of the vehicle uncovered 200 Chinese tea packages containing crystal-like substances suspected to be shabu. One of the suspects who owns the SUV left his mobile phone behind, which showed that he had sent a message to his wife instructing her to flee as he was being pursued by the police. Police have since recorded the woman's statement and are tracking down the 39-year-old suspect along with his accomplice who is in his 30s. The case is being investigated under the Dangerous Drugs Act. An unemployed man was charged at the Kuantan Magistrates Court on Thursday with the murder of an online food seller whose body was found near Sungai Kuantan on February 13. 53-year-old Zalzul Kama Abdul Ghani nodded after the charge was read to him before Magistrate Tengku Iliana Tuan Kamaruzaman. Zalzul was accused of murdering Noh Shamira Zainal at the Sungai Kuantan jetty behind a restaurant along Jalan Padang Lalang between 7:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. on February 12th. No plea was recorded as murder cases fall under the High Court's jurisdiction. The charge under the Penal Code carries the death penalty or a jail term of between 30 and 40 years along with not fewer than 12 strokes of the rotan. The court denied Zalzul bail and set April 10th for case mention. It was reported that No Shamira's body was found by the riverbank near the Tanjung Lumpur Bridge after she failed to return home the night before. The victim was believed to have gone to the location for a cash-on-delivery transaction before her body was discovered. In Selangor, a youth with learning disabilities pleaded guilty at the Ampang Sessions Court on Thursday to sexually assaulting a 10-year-old girl last week. 19-year-old Muhammad Adam Haikal Abdullah entered his plea after the charge was read to him before Judge Noshila Kamarudin. The accused allegedly committed the offence against the victim at the mosque in Kampong Sungai Masin, Batangkali at around 6:20 a.m. on February 21st. The charge under the Sexual Offences Against Children Act carries a maximum sentence of 20 years imprisonment and whipping. The prosecution proposed bail of 15,000 ringgit with one surety. However, no family members of the accused were present to post bail. The court set March 27 for sentencing. The country's household debt reached 1.63 trillion ringgit at the end of last year. This was equivalent to 84.2% of gross domestic product, GDP. The Finance Ministry, however, clarified that household debt remains significantly lower than total household financial assets, which amounted to 3.4 trillion ringgit or 178.2% of GDP at the end of 2024. Strict lending standards enforced by local banks since 2012 have helped keep household debt levels in check and aligned with borrowers' repayment capacity. The government and Bank Negara Malaysia continue to take a cautious approach in managing household debt risks to safeguard household financial resilience and maintain the stability of the country's financial system. Malaysia has significant untapped potential in the agar wood commodity industry. According to Plantation and Commodities Minister Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani, the global agar wood market is highly valuable with an estimated worth of around $1 billion. Johari hopes agar wood will gain greater recognition in the economic sector as it is seen as a product with high value-added potential.
Because ini adalah satu penolakan baru natural hutan kita yang diorang guna pakai untuk keluarkan produk-produk garu ni. Banyak brand-brand perfume, international brand ni, dia gunakan oats ni sebagai salah satu daripada ingredient untuk campur dalam dia punya minyak wangi.
Johari told reporters this after launching the book Agar Wood, Diamond of the Forest in Kuala Lumpur on Thursday. He added that agar wood can also be utilized in the pharmaceutical industry, while its leaves have potential applications in medicine.
Bursa Malaysia's market performance. What have been the key drivers? How is the Malaysian Bourse ensuring investor confidence and strengthening Malaysia's position in regional capital markets? Bursa Malaysia Chairman Tan Sri Abdul Wahid Omar joins Muhammad Ahmad Hamdan only on Money Matters this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
The Thai government was in early discussions with automakers to introduce a car trade-in and scrapping scheme in a bid to revive the flagging industry, which is facing its most serious crisis in decades. According to sources under the scheme, which is still in the early stages of discussion and has not been previously reported, consumers would trade in old vehicles in exchange for a discount on their next vehicle purchase. The traded-in vehicles would then be scrapped. The sources said car makers are pushing hard for the initiative to help boost the sales of new cars. CSKA sends Leipzig to German Cup Final Four. Sports after this breather. Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headlines.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Kekal cakna, kekal sihat. Hello Doktor merungkai pelbagai persoalan kesihatan anda.
Penyakit kronik, pemakanan, kesihatan mental, semuanya demi kesejahteraan anda.
Setiap minggu bersama tenaga pakar kesihatan terbaik Malaysia, segalanya terjawab dalam Hello Doktor setiap Ahad
5.30 petang di TV3
dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Juara anugerah juara lagu 39 Marsha Bulat lagu Hening Rindu.
Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih untuk anda semua yang menyokong Hening Rindu.
Tahniah Hening Rindu dan semua pemenang anugerah juara lagu ke-39. Anda semua ternyata berjaya membangkitkan nada rasa dalam lagu.
Di bulan yang penuh rahmat ini, marilah kita indahkan memori Ramadan dengan menyebarkan kebaikan kerana setiap detik adalah peluang untuk kita mendekatkan diri kepada Yang Maha Esa. Ramadan Mubarak untuk semua daripada kami di TV3.
Apa pula ni?
Apa pula? Happy anniversary sayang.
Ya Allah, hari ni ke?
Sports football, the Super League. 2 matches took place on Thursday night. Selangor FC were held to a goalless draw by Sabah FC, while Terengganu FC thrashed Sri Pahang FC 5-1. At the Darul Makmur Kuantan Stadium, the visitors took the lead through Akia Rashid just 3 minutes into the game. Safawi Rashid extended their advantage in the 20th minute before Safwan Mazlan made it 3-0 8 minutes later. Sri Pahang pulled a goal back through Ezekiel Aguero just before the interval. The Turtles reclaimed their 3-goal advantage through Ismail Akinade in the 58th minute, while Mani Ott sealing the victory for Terengganu just before the final whistle, completing a dominant 5-1 triumph. Still on football, the DFB Pokal Cup. RB Leipzig needed a well-taken second-half penalty from Benjamin Sesko to edge VfL Wolfsburg 1-0 and reach the last 4 on Wednesday. Leipzig soaked up early Wolfsburg pressure in both halves before gradually improving. Both teams came close late in the game, with Muhammad Amoura nearly scoring for Wolfsburg when he struck the crossbar just after the break. The hosts stepped up their game shortly after and secured the winner in the 69th minute when forward Sesko converted the penalty, sending keeper Marius Müller the wrong way. With the win, Leipzig joined holders Bayer Leverkusen and VfB Stuttgart in the last 4, as well as third-tier Arminia Bielefeld. Tennis now, the 2025 Dubai Open. Stefanos Tsitsipas secured his 350th career win on Wednesday after defeating Karen Khachanov to reach the quarterfinals. In a hard-fought clash between former top 10 players, 4th-seeded Greek Tsitsipas battled past world number 24 Khachanov in 3 sets, 7-6 to 6-6-4 in the second round. With a victory, Tsitsipas maintained his record of never falling before the quarterfinals at the ATP 500 event. The 26-year-old will face Matteo Berrettini in the quarterfinals. In other action, top-seeded Daniil Medvedev advanced to the quarterfinals following a straight sets win over Giovanni Pesci Pericard. The Russian saw off the French youngster following a 6-4, 6-4 triumph after 1 hour and 23 minutes, setting up a meeting with talent Greek Sport for a place in the last 4. Gene Hackman found dead. The details when Nightline returns.
Kekal cakna, kekal sihat. Hello Doktor merungkai pelbagai persoalan kesihatan anda.
Penyakit kronik, pemakanan, kesihatan mental, semuanya demi kesejahteraan anda.
Setiap minggu bersama tenaga pakar kesihatan terbaik Malaysia, segalanya terjawab dalam Hello Doktor setiap Ahad
5.30 petang di TV3
dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headlines.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Salam Ramadan. Jom indahkan memori bersama saya, Aisha Amira, dengan rangkaian drama menarik yang akan menyentuh hati sepanjang bulan mulia ini bersama keluarga yang tercinta. Selamat menjalani ibadah puasa.
Juara anugerah juara lagu 39 Mangsa Bulan Lagu Hening Rindu.
Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih untuk anda semua yang menyokong Hening Rindu.
Tahniah Hening Rindu dan semua pemenang anugerah juara lagu ke-39. Anda semua ternyata berjaya membangkitkan nada rasa dalam lagu.
Aku tahu apa dalam fikiran kau.
Aku cuma nak cari ketenangan.
Jadi selama ni tak tenang ah?
We're back with news from the foreign front. Oscar-winning US actor Gene Hackman, his wife Betsy Arakawa and their dog have been found dead at their home in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Hackman was 95 and his wife, a classical pianist, 64. The county sheriff's office said deputies had found the actor and Arakawa dead on Wednesday afternoon at around 1:45 p.m. It said foul play was not suspected as a factor in those deaths. However, investigations are ongoing to identify the exact cause of death. Hackman, a former Marine known for his raspy voice, appeared in more than 80 films as well as on television and the stage during a lengthy career that started in the early 1960s. He earned his first Oscar nomination for his breakout role as the brother of bank robber Clyde Barrow in 1967's Bonnie and Clyde. Eugene Allen Hackman was born in San Bernardino, California in 1930 and led a peripatetic childhood. He was married twice and had 3 children, Christopher, Elizabeth Jean and Leslie Ann, with his late ex-wife, Faye Maltese, who died in 2017. He married Arakawa in 1991. Hundreds of Palestinians held in Israeli jails released in Gaza as part of the ceasefire agreement once again showed signs of emaciation and abuse. More than 600 Palestinians were released on Thursday, shortly after Israel said Hamas handed over coffins containing the bodies of 4 captives. It was reported that some Palestinians returned had their limbs cut off and others were suffering from severe injuries due to Zionist torture in detention. Several Palestinians were transported in ambulances to the European hospital in Khan Yunis due to the severity of their injuries. Many Palestinians were also sent to Egypt and the occupied West Bank. It was the final scheduled swap as part of the first phase of the ceasefire deal between Hamas and Israel. Meanwhile, Hamas said it is ready to start delayed talks on the second phase, which aims to end the war and secure the release of the remaining Israeli hostages. At least one person has died in a wildfire that damaged more than 80 buildings and forced the evacuation of thousands of residents in Japan. Authorities on Thursday said military helicopters have been mobilized to try and douse the flames raging in forested areas of Ofunato in the northern region of Iwate. More than 2,000 panicked residents have evacuated Ofunato since Wednesday, fleeing the third fire outbreak in a week. All schools and kindergartens in the affected area were shut down and around 500 homes were without power, while a section of a train line in the city was suspended. The municipal government said the blaze has swept across 600 hectares of land in Ofunato, reducing everything in its path to ashes. However, the damage is expected to be even more extensive as more areas have yet to be surveyed. This time around, before we leave, let's take a look at visuals of the centuries-old Sicilian tradition of Mayo Chino in Sicilia, where teams throw hefty 10 to 12 kilogram wheels of pecorino cheese as far as they can in this thrilling carnival game. With that, I'm Zaliha, Kelvin Abdullah. Thank you for watching and have a productive day ahead.